A very, very warm good evening. This is Arnav John. You are on my YouTube channel for another Indian football discussion on an evening, February the 20th, on which Jamshedpur FC scored a very, very important 2-0 away win at Mohammedan Sporting to confirm their place in the Indian Super League top 6 playoffs. I do think they did, and it makes it even more interesting a little down the table. So as it's Mohammedan, 49 points from 21 matches, FC Goa 39 from 20, Jamshedpur FC 21 matches now, 37 points. They're 8 clear of Odisha FC. It's sensational if Odisha FC could actually jump past them. And we have tomorrow a big one coming up, Northeast United versus Bangalore FC. Northeast United on 32 points. Sorry, just turn this off. City on 32 points, BFC on 31 points. So, yeah, Odisha on, as I say, on 29. And it looks likely the Blasters and Punjab FC on 24 each. That they are a little bit off the music. Good evening, back, and those of you who might be watching later, if you like what you're seeing, if you like what you're hearing, do leave a like behind, do leave a share behind, and spread it to other people. Let's keep on growing the community. Let's keep on growing the channel. Currently, we're at 2,230. The short videos that I try and make on a regular basis. Did something earlier today in regard to the I-League title race, as crazy as that continues to be. Yesterday did something, does the ISL have a future? For that on Mohammedan's head coach. Lina, Kolkata football's future, East Bengal fan protest. Just go through it. A lot of interesting stuff. And as always, those of you following, thanks a lot for that. Hello again, also from my side, Yash Raj. I am fine. Today was suddenly flipped. It was with wind chill yesterday, -11, and now it's +10. So, yeah, maybe this weather change helps a little bit as well. So, already feeling better myself, and I think everybody else around here as well. Yeah, let's see what happens. Jamshedpur is like dark horses this season. Yeah, playoffs, who knows, right? The playoffs are a funny thing. Yeah. But can they pull off the ISL Cup? Let's wait and see. But yeah, they've got some good players in there. Indian women's team win 2-0 against Jordan. Yes, in the pink. Yeah, big one for the Indian women. I think it's an important one. These kind of exposures are rare to have, and the Pink Ladies Cup, to win it is very, very important for the Indian women's team, and so therefore good to see. You get, first of all, that exposure, and secondly, also a result like the Indian under-20 women did yesterday. They beat Jordan 2-1. So the senior women followed up today with a win. Mohammedan Sporting need to get relegation. I feel they don't have quality to ISL. Again, on rare, if you want to talk about who has quality for ISL with the team, without the team, I don't know how many teams you would keep in the ISL. You know, if we want to start about talking about quality, is anyone, and I take even Mohammedan into that discussion. Does anyone this season have the quality to be of an ISL level where we would say, you know what, this is really good, this is something that you'd like to follow? I don't know. You know, so therefore for me, discussion um, as long there isn't um, any um, any relegation, you know, so yeah, out of the question. As India U20 and India defeat Jordan U20 and Jordan, yeah, uh, and good sign. Again, beating Jordan isn't easy. It's good that the under 20s as well won their respective games, and let's see what they can do in the rest of the tournament. May have a quality issue, but we have to work with what we have right now. Aditya, we don't may have a quality issue. We have, and I, for myself, would say if I was working at one of these clubs, I would not be happy with the quality on display. You know, so therefore, for me, you know, um, I the system, higher standards. So let's hope for the best. Hi, Blue. Welcome back. Yes, looks like Jamshedpur FC is now confirmed playoffs. Same as well. For me, points would be sensational if they would drop out and Odisha would leapfrog them. So therefore, for me, very, very clearly, today was that jump, so to say, for Jamshedpur FC. They jumped over more, and that, for me at least, I would think looks like it that they will make the playoffs. The question now is, do they finish? Can they finish maybe second behind Mohun Bagan, or is it FC Goa? That's the last question I think remaining on that front in regards to can they finish second or will they finish third? So meaning, do they go directly into the semi-finals or do they have to play the playoffs? So far, no major injuries for Indian players. So far, things going well. Yeah, I think that's the most important thing. But Giron Rare, more than a month to go for the Bangladesh friendly. Bangladesh, less than a month to go for the Maldives friendly. So therefore, a lot of time. We got next match against Russia and South Korea. Aditya, Jordan was just a small test, and the real quality tests will be coming up against those two. And Crispin somehow won. Aditya, I know Crispin. Is he a friend? I don't know. It's saying too much, and somehow won. I don't know. I didn't watch it. I don't know if you watched it. They won, right? And somehow gives a certain connotation. So yeah. The most important, I feel, in context of league top 6 spots. Let's hope it's gonna be cracker. Again, rare. I think every match involving one of those teams who are 4th, 5th, 6th, 7th, yeah, is key for this. Tomorrow is a direct in that way. The question is, can one of the two teams win? Can Northeast win or can BFC win? Will it end in a draw? And again, as things stand, let's look once more into the table. Northeast have 32 points. BFC have 31. Them also 32 points. Odisha have 29. Yeah, if Northeast win, I guess with 35 points, looks very, very good. BFC win 34, puts pressure on Northeast and Mumbai City, and a draw keeps it all alive. So therefore, all to play for. And the second game for Northeast United in Shillong. So that will be an interesting one to see how they adopt, how they adjust themselves to the conditions in Shillong, and what happens. So therefore, for me, it's very interesting to see what happens in Shillong tomorrow, and I'll be doing a watch along tomorrow. Planned one, haven't done one in a while, so tomorrow Let's do a watch along. Got to go to, so thought of doing a watch along tomorrow. So yeah, to join in as well. Any update regarding FSTL deal? Yashraj, no, nothing. There's not even conversation happening. So as long as those things don't happen, there is no update on that matter at the moment as we speak. So what's your take on Karabas? If you ask me, if I want me to be honest, another wasted campaign. We've had Blasters fans here, and other people also speaking about the Blasters, and to me, it's very, very clear and very, very evident that that the Blasters have a certain level of a potential, but they're not doing the most about it. And that, to me, I think is the big thing. It's something at the Blasters which is championship worthy. Or can you not? And that is, to me, the question. And that is something which, in the last few years, they have not been able to say the Blasters are able to push for the title. Mike asked, sir, how come Zimbabwe player is playing in Premier League? Scouted, picked up, and playing in the Premier League. Well, there's no wonder formula in that way. So a player from any country can play in any league in the world. I mean, that's possible, right? And there is no magic in that in regard to some of them, of course, are born in most probably in the UK or have ended up there. I mean, the interesting one is, I think you're talking about Marshall Munetsi, who plays at Wolves. Of course, if you look, was playing locally in Zimbabwe, then goes to Ubuntu Cape Town, then goes to Baroka FC, then Orlando Pirates. Orlando Pirates does so well that Stade de Reims in France pick him up. 6 years over there, and then the Wolves pick him up. So therefore, these kind of things happen. And if you look at the Zimbabwe squad, there's quite a few players who have played in the UK. So therefore, those leagues are there. Zimbabwe's below. Man, it has nothing to do with the FIFA ranking. Wherever a player plays in the women's game, Sabitra Bhandari is playing in France. Nepal is ranked below us. Do we have a player in France? No, we don't. Kerala Blasters team management always promised stability, but every time they turn their back. Kieran, Rare, what stability? In my opinion, they're looking at financial stability, right? So from that, that's what they said, right? Have they ever said that they're going to try and win the league? Yeah, they really put in the efforts, put in the money, brought in the people to win the league. I don't know. What is the final scoreline for Jamshedpur FC versus Mohammedan Sporting today, and how was the game? Jamshedpur won 2-0. Goal and Nikhil Bala. Yeah. It was Jamshedpur's to lose, I guess, and they ensured that they won it. And they'll surely be happy with the 3 points, which closer to the ISL playoffs. And Jamshedpur, of course, are moving for themselves in the right direction at the moment. So yeah, let's see where they go. Ashish Negi said the club is asking for only one relegation in our league rather than two. It was well blue. I think it went even that the then Chief Minister of Manipur got involved. It even went to the courts, and the AIFF announced that there will be two relegation at the start of the season, and that's it. And if anyone is asking for that, that is, in the Premier League, which ministers last doesn't say, just keep us in, and make it 21 teams or something. There are rules. If I like it, if you like it, or no one like it, doesn't matter. We have to all follow the rules. And that's something keep in mind. Real Madrid versus Barca legends playing in India in April. Yeah, I read something that they're supposed to play in April in Mumbai at the DY Patil. I think I saw some social media posts. Didn't read the details. Nice to have. I don't know who's doing it or trying to do it, but let's see how it works out. Heard Ivan Vukovanovic is coming back to Blasters next season. Zoravar, I've heard the same. So I've heard the same as well. Or we were talking about it also yesterday. There are some rumors return to the Blasters. It would be interesting to see if it happens, because of course the Blasters fans still have a very, very high opinion. Interesting to see how if it happens, how it would play out, because Ivan Vukovanovic has left a certain legacy. And then let's wait and see how far they can take it. What's your opinion regarding the hate against Indians abroad, especially after recent MAGA outbursts? Being a person who have you faced any racism in Germany recently? No racism per se. Things which I realize, because I'm involved in my local community. Integration is one factor, and if you come to a different country, into the system, and if I look at my father's generation, they integrated themselves 100%, or those who didn't, after 2, 3, 4, 5 years went back to India. And of course, all of them came as students, so that's a different thing. But the point, there is a problem of certain Indians from certain parts of India who are coming over around the world and who are creating problems for Indians in general, and that is something, which is there. It is funny that I know that there are certain people who have voted MAGA, and they're now getting abuse from MAGA. And I told them before, and they said no, it wouldn't happen. So, yeah, it is. Racism is on the rise, but again, I think Indians themselves shouldn't be talking too much about it. Look at racism that we have in India itself amongst each other, right? So therefore, we spoke about the Ranbir Alabadia case, which has, a bigger implication than racism or misogyny or abuse. So therefore, it's these things are sadly phenomenons these days, and social media seems to be amplifying them, and Indian football is not out of it, right? So therefore, it's sadly part of it. Punjab has inaugurated the youth setup in Punjab. I think it seems like they're working on the basic things. Punjab running for the last 7-8 years. What are they inaugurating? I don't know where you got that from, because we created the youth setup of Punjab FC as Round Glass Punjab in 2018. That's been running now for nearly. I would like to see Khalid as assistant coach of national team someday. Well, he can bring things on table, I feel. Yeah. And then I would say no. And yeah, better not to say anything more. I go to Project 2025. Yeah, Akash, they're doing what was mentioned in that original document. A lot of people didn't want to believe it. And yeah, let's see. Let's see what happens. A lot of problems for the whole world. Not too many people have to suffer because of that. But again, let's come back to football on a day, I said, where Jamshedpur FC scored a big 2-0 win at Mohammedan Sporting to nearly secure their ISF playoff spot. And on the other side, India scoring a 2-0 win against Jordan. Interesting, the goals were scored by Priyanka Devi and Manisha. So that's good. Getting quite a bit of combo of younger players and more experienced players playing for the national team, and therefore that's very, I feel, very, very important in regard to the national team. To see, of course, Sweeti Devi as captain, yeah, so that's also good to see. Yeah, so therefore, good to see that as well. Racism has increased by a lot. Recently saw a video of an Indian woman getting racially abused in a bus in UK. So, Rava, I always say be careful when you're watching these kind of things, because you never know. Is it something current? Is it something old which is just being recooked? That is also happening. A lot of these things with creating problems in our parts of the world are old stories which are being recooked, false narratives as well. So therefore, just be careful. That's one piece of advice. Not to talk. I got it. Yeah. That's, again, get it right. You guys can have your opinions, but I know these people for, I don't know, 2.5 decades. I've dealt with them. I've worked with them. So therefore, some of the things which for a fan might be logical, therefore, sometimes better not to say something. I meant a new pitch somewhat. Sorry, just saw the latest tweet. Okay, yes, that's something that they've been working on, but the youth system has been running. Why? I say that because I was one of the people involved in creating it. If AIFF can arrange I-League 2 and 3, why can't Super Cup? I just don't understand why AIFF do not have money for it. I-League 2, I-League 3 are small fish compared to organizing a Super Cup. I-League 3 is a tournament. It's not even a league. So therefore, Super Cup is an own issue, because if you look at the AIFF, they've been going around and asking state associations or state governments to help them out, bail them out, and organize matches and tournaments for them, right? So that's been happening. And if AIFF really don't have money, who will hold them accountable? Akash, theoretically, it's the finance committee which met yesterday. That's the first instance who should be raising questions, and the second one is the executive committee. Those are the internal bodies who should be taking up. His national team material, he's been pretty consistent in the last few seasons. So, Ravar, could become, but he has to physically man up. If you want to see him in international football, would be my piece of advice. He's got something in him. Can play a more defensive role as well now rather than attacking. So yeah, flexibility. Who said Shillong had turf? Shillong used to have turf, and with this upgrade that has happened, they've turned it back into a grass ground. I need to spend it for stupid things, but not for Super Cup. But the thing is, time window, they never thought about it nor any plan for it, according to Given Red. Okay. They changed to grass a few seasons, yeah. Can you give info on their business? They must be pretty well. They should not only run ISO, but also work on grassroots. So our round class is the well-being arm of a bigger company, of a bigger corporate. Sunny Singh is the owner. And they not only run ISL in football, they run grassroots in hockey, are doing stuff in tennis as well. So yeah, so they've invested quite a bit over the last nearly decade. I've seen some Bangladeshi YouTubers say Shillong is tough. Aram, that is your source. If they're saying something wrong and don't know, again, guys, why do you bother about other people saying stuff which are wrong? Just don't care about it. Don't bother about it. Right? That would be my advice. Look at what is true, and then they've upgraded the ground, they've upgraded the turf into a proper grass pitch now. That's what what we should be talking about. No, don't bother about some YouTuber said something which she doesn't even know. How good is their grassroots development? Is it as good as Rand's Foundation, Young Champs? So rather, the problem with both programs is I think both programs will have to prove how good they're. It's there. They're doing stuff. Is it? We can talk about it in 5, 7, 10, most probably 10 years, and then say how good the programs are or not. So that's the thing, right? That's the reality. Grassroots success, as I've said repeatedly, grassroots success is not built on us talking about what they're doing now, but rather talking about what they would, should achieve down the road. So yeah, round class isn't a big group, well-being arm of a big group. So there is a bigger company behind it, and therefore for them, sports is part of. It's part of a CSR program of theirs. Got found. They do stuff, as I said, in the well-being space. They do rural development work. So some very, very interesting stuff that Ranglas actually does. Right, nearly half an hour on this Thursday evening. As always, I say, if you haven't, do leave a like behind. If you're liking what you're seeing, what you're hearing, 8 likes so far. Share it with other people to potentially join our conversations, so that they can if they're interested in football. And if you haven't, then to subscribe to the channel. As I say, 2,237 people who are now subscribers, is I think the right word, of the channel. So thank you very much, everyone. Was really a chance to win UFC Cup 21-22. According to you, they literally bottled to Kuala Lumpur. City FC is one. Renner, could have been, could not have been. It's very theoretical. When you don't win match, Diamond Harvest now has not accepted East Bengal FC being declared winners of Calcutta Football League rematch on cards, most likely. Yeah. Again, if you should sort this on the field, right? And both sides will find a date which at some stage will be acceptable to both sides, right? So that's something which I always say is, and that's the question down the road for both teams in the ISL, I League, and I League 2, or even I League 3. Do you have, the capabilities, the possibility of playing with your team in multiple competitions? Will ISL continue? I'm scared of AIFF officials. They might bottle the contract. I don't know. As I said, I said what I wanted to say in the video yesterday, where I clearly state that that's a real danger. I think everybody should wake up and realize that there is a real danger of the ISL stopping to exist in a few weeks. I think nobody's taking it seriously. Nobody's realizing how big, how huge this threat, this danger is. So, yeah. Looks like Indian clubs are spending more time in courts these days. Blue, they should be looking to work hard on the field and develop their respective teams and work on those rather than doing all these other gimmicks. Rajdeep Paul from Mohammedan Sporting Club is the top scorer in U15 league. He's scoring 3-4 goals every match. Brilliant. But what did I say? Let the boy play. We'll speak about later. Arm says, why is Ranjiman's team about to be relegated? I thought he said he had the best youth players in India. Yeah. AIFF wants 100 crore yearly from FSTL. They won't budge for less than that, according to some journalists. So, rather, and those numbers are already out of the window. So, these so-called journalists with their so-called information, brilliant work. Robbie Hunster from Santosh Trophy is looking decent. Mohammed, what do you think? No. Because people are trying to make something out of it. If he's still around in 2 years, let's have a conversation. If he's still next 2 years around in the ISL and he's playing to some extent, we can have a conversation. Otherwise, as always, waste of time. And more often than not, I would say players end up being a waste of time. And that's sad reality. Therefore, I'm very frank on that. Let them prove that they can do something. And if they're really as good as some people think they are, then they'll prove themselves. But the Robbie Hansas of this world, yeah. And Zorawar adds another who's doing decent, is also doing decent in decent in ISL, I think you want to say. Not ISL level, period. But again, that's the standard we have today, right? It's PV Vishnu's and Mohammed Sanans is the standard we have today. So I come here, I count on how to give a different perspective. I'm giving you my perspective as I see it. We're quoting things, are glorifying things, are saying, oh, you know what, brilliant, I think blah, 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 blah. And this living, as I love to say, in La La Land is taken where Indian football is today. If we're not going to discuss of the problems, the issues that Indian football faces, we're going to be, right? We are where we are because we haven't done our homework. That to me is the real problem. if we don't do the homework, if we don't bring up better players, where with these players, how, my first question is, how old are they actually? Are they really at an age where you can still develop? Old that, you know, um, they're looking to retire in a few weeks. That's the problem. Sorry, but that's the reality. I think at best is that they will run ISL or RFDL and their youth developments and give back the rest rights to AIFF itself. I don't know what's going to happen. For Reliance, has, I think, one intention: do the ISL. And I would say to them, the national team. That has to be combined. Youth development they can do. Youth development, of what happens to that AIFF contract, and RFDL is a byproduct of the ISL. So if the ISL goes, then RFDL is gone. Aram says, I know now I was taken to the La La Land in 2023. We won SAF. Now I know who's who. Yeah. And if you watch those videos from July 2023, I said the same things when Rahul and I were talking. Let me go back to one of those videos. And when were we talking? It was quite a while. Right. And I've been repeating myself again and again and again and again with the same thing. So that's the challenge, right? So yeah, Rahul and I spoke about it. Yeah. India versus Kuwait. Yeah, that's actually a video. Number 12. So we spoke about it, right? We spoke about it at then. And then changed. Prad wrote that we have to massively invest in quality coaching education. I'm saying that. Grassroots, youth football, coaching, competition, scouting. Those are the 5 things. If you take, you will be. Bangalore FC going to introduce a new team in 24/2. It is an LGBT team or anything else. Any idea? Did I miss something? Sorry. One second. Most probably there's a tweet about it, right, from BFC. Let me just check. Blue before I try and make a comment about something which I haven't seen so far. Let me check. Or maybe did I miss something? Maybe tell me. Reach 11 years of investment and stop. They've now invested 14 plus years. There'll be 15 years of investment by the time this is over. They, for example, invested also money to try and run the basketball league. They signed a 30-year contract with the Basketball Federation of India. They ditched them. Fred said we have to qualify for U17 or U20 World Cup first, rest all hyper. Then 100%. But under 20 only happens after under 17. Under 17 is our best, but again, under 17, yeah. By the way, I do miss the sports coverage 3-way show you people did. Yeah, Aram, sadly, Rahul due to studies, had to move to the UK. Akshata, of course, has also moved out of sports coverage. So, yeah, that's why Hiren sometimes comes on my shows. I go on his shows. That's they tweeted. Okay. I haven't seen the tweeted. I'm just trying to find it. 1 second. Let me see if I can find it. Where is it? Where is it? Where is it? Okay. Not finding it at the moment. I'll check and then we can talk about it. Hi Shivam. Don't you think Igor just survived by beating South Nations by 2-3? Otherwise, he would have lost his job long ago. Shivam, not only that, he would have been gone by 2021. By now, I think his success in 2019 was built on Stephen Constantine's team. I think Stephen would have had a very, very good time with the national team if he had stayed. Sadly, Stephen didn't, so he didn't bear the fruits of his own work, but that's how it is. Why don't Indian clubs don't like to loan out players? The reason much of prospects don't go is because of lack of game time. Take Gurkir, for example, sitting Genesee bench where he could be in a regular in I League. So now what the point is, sometimes this is difficult because for you, the coaches and the people running the teams look at which player do I need for the rest of the season. Uh, and then normally you'll say, you know what, I'll keep the player rather because you might need him in this season. And that has happened or is happening again and again and again and again and again in the ISL. What's the update about if it's still AIFF? Most important question in football. There is nothing to talk about. What did Shivam? There was something that BFC created a new team, and again, I think Blue. Maybe you can send the tweet out here, and then we can have a look and then talk about it. I really, yeah, but looks unlikely. Sir, I heard AIFF doing quite good recently. Is this true? Esdas in what? I mean, generally throwing out that the AIFF is doing good could be in what would be then my question. 2011 team that went to Asian Cup and now 2019, would you say is better? It's a good question. See, 2019, of course, the results and performances speak for themselves. We were much more mature, but the opponents were weaker. So if I look at 11, those were the best in Asia, and they were. Australia was much better than they are now. Even South Korea at that point, with the young Min Son, Bahrain was much better than they are now. So most probably 2011, if you ask me. I would say. Yeah. In Europe, youngsters who are not considered first-team regulars are loaned out to lower divisions to gain experience. It's not only benefit the loaner, but also the loanee. So rather, it doesn't always happen, right? I mean, Bayern Munich had of a number of players who sometimes the player didn't want to go. Look at Matis Tel. Matis Tel most probably should have gone last year on loan. He's only gone on loan now, right? So it works. Some players have gone on loan and doesn't. Yeah. AIFF and good in the same sentence. Aram, yeah, maybe. Like, can the OCI players be naturalized rather than dual citizenship? When will no. You could, but that is a long process at the moment, 5 to 10, 12 years. So by the time it could be most of the players, their careers are over. Ronaldo, by the way, actually told that he had gained knowledge from his source that some politician had go fruit for which he was backed on, and soon something's going to happen. Shivam, didn't we hear a month ago that supposedly there was an uprising in the AIFF and they're going to remove Kalyan. Patel supposedly is involved in the background. He's the big mastermind. And like, Papa Patel is not bothered about football, right? So therefore, I'm very, very careful about these statements that people make or speculate. I live on facts. I don't live on speculation. A lot of you live on speculation, and some people love to hand out these speculations because that's what engagement somewhat is about, right? So for me, sounds nice, is interesting, but is it really the conversation that we should be having at this moment? I don't know. Do you have stories from the football circuit? I'm missing Novi, sir. Oh, Aram, but um, yeah, I tell you, as I look at the poster from the 2006 Duran Cup here on my wall, which is in front of me, a Novi Cup. So I was in Delhi. Friends of mine were organizing the Durand, and for whatever reasons, NDTV was the broadcaster of the Durand Cup. Novi and I were doing commentary together. Snippets of that still available. Churchill Brothers was Mahindra United, and we later on discussed we we did the commentary, and we did it through the game, and we were not told that something had happened in politics. Don't ask me what it was. Commentary for the whole game, and they showed it at the start and I think towards the end, and most of the game was not even shown on television. There was no options, of course, of streaming in those days, and we gave it everything, and most of the match was never shown on in those days on the broadcast. Yeah. If government tries to remove Kalyan Chaubey, then India will face FIFA ban. Yeah, Zorawa, you're very, very right. Gaming Warriors, your view on Khalid? Oof. Knowing Khalid now, as I say, for 25 years, personally, nice guy, good conversation. Again, rather more of the quiet side. As a coach, I know some of the stories of things that have happened at certain clubs, and people name, they get really, really scared and run away. And yeah, therefore, good to see him being successful, but I think a lot of people who work in Indian football would not rate it. Shivam says, Ronaldo, this of hope after all this negative performance. Yeah, but this speculation gives you false hope. You have hope that something will change, right? I remember I went to Kolkata and I even met the journalist who had written about this, that something is coming, something is brewing, something is happening. And he himself said, yeah, but so much that I did write that article. I said, yeah, but that's been, that conversation has been going on for, I don't know. So for me, yeah, nothing has changed, and that's the real problem. All these natives want to gain power. No one wants to develop football. If Kalyan Chaubey goes in this place, so now, but that's my hope that it doesn't. So therefore, Let's see. This is a tweet with a video saying men, boys, girls, one trophy, one team remains, something like this. So I guess I don't maybe underage girls if they don't have. I think the women's team, huh? Could it be the women's team? It's not LGBT. The girls' team has won something. Blue. So for me, I think it's the women's team. But I might be wrong. Sorry. The cycle will keep going. Yeah, it's the problem itself. Sir, is there any good news about Indian football? SDS? Not that I know of at the moment, sadly. I would love to give you some positive news, but I don't have positive news at the moment. Well, is he a good coach? Have you ever talked to him? Ever? Yes, Zorawar, I've talked to him. We have been panelists on shows. I remember I met him when he was India under-16 coach. He's done good for himself. I give him a lot of respect that at his age he actually did the young guns. So that surely gets credit, but is he top notch? I don't know. That is a question, of course, we will ask about all India coaches. U20 and senior women winning against Jordan today, Ochut. Good start. Yeah, not only good start, great start. Good afternoon to you. Very important for Indian football. That's a very, very important thing to be able to beat sides. Jordan to beat their women's and under 20s girls. Very, very good sign. In my opinion, a very, very good sign. But let's see what they can do against tougher opposition that they're going to be facing in the coming weeks. Right, keep your questions coming. Throw them at me and I'll try and answer them. Just quickly grab some water. Sorry. So the Tonjasen is highly respected, highly. Yeah, Robert, he deserves it. Yeah. Was VP Satyan a legend in defense? Anyway, for Indian standards, Satyan was a big name, and if I remember the story right, suicide, not the way to end it, I would say. Nice to see two coaches from West Bengal heading the senior women's team, Crispin Chetri and Dipankar. Yes, as a goalkeeping coach. True or truth. Jordan is a proper tier 2 side, right? They really have a top 5 league player at first. Yeah, but the women's are not as strong as their men's. Yeah? So therefore, that is something that you need to keep in mind. So that I would say is something. Yeah, that you have to. That one should not forget. Let's put it this way. No, they said they won every trophy. Now it's time for remaining new team. I guess you need to see the tweet first and watch the video and then get it. But how will they win? I don't know. Is it an LGBT tournament or something, or is it a trans tournament? If LGBT tournament can't be, then it has to be a trans tournament or something. But maybe we totally wrong. What's your thought about philosophy in the national team? Like how much came and said that these concerts had some results to show. Good. Aram, philosophy is something you can talk about when you can afford it. And my question would be that, can we, within Indian football, afford to speak about philosophy. I think the job of an Indian national team coach is very simple. Look at your team, look at your players, look at their capabilities, and practically, pragmatically put a team together and play a certain style. You know. So for me, uh, a pragmatic approach is more realistic, um, is needed, than rather talking about philosophy, possession, and all. We can't play that. Which is briefly once doesn't come with the fake aura that many people in the street do, and he's a good coach by Indian standards. Yeah, sums it up. Krishnav asks, what are the chances that FS still chooses not to continue with the ISL at all? How does that scenario looks like for Indian football in the national team? Um, it's a real possibility. It's a real danger for Indian football. I think we should take it seriously that Reliance and the AIFF have not been able to work out, so therefore, for me, it is something. Honestly, don't know. I mean, therefore, I made the video yesterday asking that question, right? So, where are we? Where do we stand? Does the ISL have a future? At the moment, if the AIFF don't do what they are needed to do to convince Reliance to say, you know what, we want to continue, then this can go downhill very, very quickly. And that danger is there, in my opinion. And what would it mean if the ISL shuts down? I don't know how many of the teams will remain. Money will be pulled out of the system, that is for sure. Then the question is, does the AIFF have the capabilities to run a professional league at all, or can without that money from Reliance? Yeah. Hi Raj, good evening from my side too. Welcome back. I think Constantine should be brought back for 2-3 years, senior men's national team. I would be interesting. If Steve would come back. I'm not sure if he would, but yeah, it would be an interesting conversation to have. Seeing supercars at set time, but looks like not core. That's what I'm saying, Blue. It is at the moment the AIFF is trying to find a state partner who's gonna underwrite the cost of a 16-team tournament. That's what they're looking for. Who was the worst coach in modern Indian football? Wouldn't be able to tell you one. For Sanjay Case is decent in Indian standard, but to be honest, is arrogant, a bit too much. I agree. Without FSDL, the league structure in brackets, whatever is present will collapse. Yeah, Ocho, that's my concern. That's my whole concern about Indian football. That if FSDL tomorrow say, you know what, thank you very much, I'm done with this. I don't want to do this anymore. You know, you know. So it's such a big thing that could happen to Indian football, and no thought is put into this. That's the real scare in all of this. Should he play direct football like Khalid is playing with Jamshedpur FC? Raj, is he playing direct football? Yeah. Krishna says, let's assume that this happens, and in brackets, God forbid. So the players who are used to inflated salaries, would they be tempted to look for opportunities abroad? If yes, are there opportunities for them? Keshav, they could look abroad, but is anyone going to be interested in them? I actually interesting. I had a few players reach out to me about summer and Europe, and on good salaries, and I said, you want to come? show yourself, possible, but good salaries is not happening in Europe for you, right? Because no one will take you seriously at the moment. You have to work your way up. The reason Bangladesh women football using the women's team is going downhill. That's the thing, no? That's why, sports in Odisha will be an interesting thing to see, because Naveen Patnaik was the driving force behind it, and without him, I'm not sure if things. To me, that's something which happens if there is someone who supports something, and whoever follows up after that doesn't do the same, it becomes a problem. What will Goenka Group do if ever still shuts ISL down? They invest so much money into Momo Supergiant. Question, because the Goenka's investment is linked to the Ambanis, because of the Ambanis they came in and initially took over Athletic de Kolkata. So there is a huge danger that most investors might might pull out. That's my so not sure. I had a thought I wanted to bounce off you for Indian player salary deflation. Hit me. You have discussed it multiple times, still asking, why do you think Mumbai City isn't performing the way it should be? Team hasn't clicked. Yesterday, very good example. Yesterday, Mumbai City needs to be 3-4-0, and they've had a few games. So that's the thing. It's not clicking, and some of the thoughts and ideas that the sporting players that did not click, and therefore Mumbai City is stuck where they are, and fighting to get into the top six is I feel very disappointing for the team, for the club, for the entity, because it has much more potential than what they're showing at the moment. What do you call the kind of football JFC is playing? Do we have to call it something? That's my point. Is it something that you want to call something? I think City Group will leave as well if ISL ends. Could be a possibility. I'm not sure. I don't know. So is it true that most of the AIFF FIFA Academy players are overage even after the second selection process? SK, I haven't heard this so far. So therefore I can't comment. Will the clubs doing a meeting with AIFF to clarify their interest? Not, I guess only way Indian players go outside is the total system collapsing like Pakistan, but that will not solve anything. Yeah, that's collapsing is not the solution. That's the other problem, right? Collapsing means we're going to move back 15, 20, 30 years, and we're already behind, dramatically behind other countries at the moment. Most ISL investors who are here due to good relationship with the Reliance got to accept reality. Exactly. Which is very, very well said, very, very true. So is there news about any Indian player moving abroad, even to the east or the Middle East? Krishav, nothing that I know of. Firstly, are Nepali players considered foreigners in ISL? Yes, they are considered. Anybody who doesn't have an Indian passport is a foreigner. The Pakistan case is very different because their players of foreign origin can play, and here they can't. That's another issue, Krishav. Very, very right. Isn't GFC playing Park the Bus like Mohammedan, though they are a bit weird in that, like, if Eze plays, okay, else forfeit. It's the same for Mohammedan, right? Take Alberto out and the team wouldn't be the same again, but that hasn't happened. Geo Hotstar uses live viewership today. Also, I saw viewership fluctuate from 28 crore to 22 crore, then increased to 26 crore lakhs. Because for that game, 26 crore, 28 crores is a lot. If yes, they can allow Nepalese players to play in ISL, decrease the amount of Indian players, even if slightly. Why? The point is you could create a South Asian slot, Southeast Asian slot in the J League, but it's not gonna. Sadly, it will not have the impact that you have thought in your head. I don't think that will change things dramatically. Worst thing, not just players, a whole lot of job opportunities came up due to ISL over-investment FSL in the ecosystem, which that doesn't get discussed, right? So, you know, I agree, right? Um, um, that's the problem with all the teams. India versus Bangladesh cricket game, okay. India senior women's beat Jordan. Good result, or Jordan is not impressive? Jordan is not the best team in the world, but winning is also important. So I take the win. Take the win, be happy. They'll face much tougher opposition in the coming matches. Hi, Julian. As a broadcasting rights, please explain in brief. The rights were with Geo. Geo and Hotstar merged, so therefore Geo Hotstar is showing it. Very simple. It's like Sports 18 and Star Sports merged. They started showing the ISL again 3 for a while. Now Sports 18 is going to disappear, so therefore the whole lot is going to move. Whole Sports 18 content will move to Star Sports. Sorry, but last question. Is there any hope of football in India? Oh, Krishav, the most. It's not easy. There is always some sort of hope, I would say. Let's put it this way. I don't want to be just saying, everything is bad, but I would think, as I say, that something at some stage will improve and will change things for the better. But Indian football is tough work in progress, and let's hope it changes in the best direction. Geo and Star Sports merged. Yeah, Reliance organized the merger, So, yeah, let's see. What was the OCN nationalization scenario? There is none. What is the scenario? No update on the 25th of March will be a decision coming. For organizing a match with 22 players, you need at least 50, 60 people. Many are not aware that there is a checklist of 100 plus line items with which you can't start a professional football match. Yeah, and then you have a day before a managers meet, and then you have, this match day -1, and then you have 3 hours before kickoff, and then 90 minutes, 60 minutes, 45 minutes, blah, 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 and then you run down, people and manpower. I-League clubs said only relegate one team instead of two. I-League clubs didn't. Supposedly one club. The rule has been there from the start. It was there last season. No tinkering. Therefore, it is the way it is. If there is hope for football in war-torn countries, then there is hope for us. That's a stretch, PK had the call to play in Europe back then. So I didn't see them play. So for me to judge them was very difficult. I know that there was the story that Chuni Goswami supposedly had an offer from Tottenham Hotspur in the 50s and didn't go. But were they good enough, not good enough? I honestly don't know. And the Gulf of Standard wouldn't be. That's the first thing. But could they have played? I honestly can't tell you that. That means Jio Hotstar will collect huge chunk of money every day. Huge, which money? What money? There is no money. Well, who's making? There's no one makes money. Where do you get this from? Ashish Negi said that according to our sources, which he chose not to disclose, a BJP member said that Kalan hasn't done XYZ. We discussed this earlier. Again, it doesn't come as a surprise. I mean, if they wouldn't realize that, then then you have to question the sanity of these people. But yeah, what have they done? They've done nothing. Last question: what would the scenario be like if it still continue but at a lower rate? It's a problem for the AIFF, no? AIFF needs the money to run its system. That's the problem about this whole money discussion. FSDL paying less, they can still run the ISL, right? Even with the national team, but less money for the AIFF is a problem. The AIFF needs more money. Which team do you like the most in ISL? Aram, there are two teams I like because I was involved with them. I created Mumbai City FC. I was involved in the creation of that team, that club, and I was also involved, as we spoke about earlier today, in Round Glass Punjab. So I have a soft corner for both these teams. In Chennai FC, Kitik, at the moment, we're heading towards the end of the season. Nothing as such. If Mohun Bagan wins the match with Odisha, will they get the shield right away or will they get it during the... So Ravar, normally the plan was, if I'm right, to hand it over at the last game. Is he looking players or what the situation on Owen Chima? I think the question is, first question is, what is Owen Coyle going to continue? First question. Some players have contracts, a lot of players don't. So that's the other point. And the question is, does the sporting management stay, right? That's another question to be asked. So therefore, then you see how where it goes. What do you think are East Bengal's chances in the AFC tournament? See, the AFC Challenge League is something where it's not a league; it's a knockout now. So therefore, for them, the advantage is for East Bengal. They could get far. And I look at my best example is, I think, Borussia Dortmund. Borussia Dortmund last year already had a bad season for their standards, only finishing fifth in the Bundesliga, but reached the Champions. Sorry, just got thrown out of the system. The AFC Challenge League is such. One good match here and there. As talking about Borussia Dortmund as an example, having had now 2 bad seasons in the Bundesliga. If you can make it. East Bengal's main thing is to get their players fit. I think Oscar is working towards that. And then anything is possible. And East Bengal has shown over the years that they can do well at continental level. So, a personal question, you can choose to ignore where you're born in Germany. Yes, I was born and brought up in Germany, yeah. At this point, women have to teach men's team. Blue, there's a lot of countries where the women's team are much, much better than the men's. Look at the US, look at China, look at North Korea, look at the Scandinavian countries where the teams have been better than their men's. Owen Coyle said their focus is on Super Cup and win it. Let's see. Could be a strategy. What is she talking? They never qualified for Asian Cup till now, but doing. Yes, yeah. Ashiniga says Manolo should consider David in striker. If Ryan gets chances, Manvir gets chances. I've said, and I stick to it, not national team material. Sorry. So you're aware of Canadian affairs situation? Seems like this is similar to ours. No, Krishav, I'm not following what's happening in Canada at the moment. There's so many third-party apps to watch ISL. General, and you have Geo Hotstar. What else do you want? I wouldn't know any third-party apps where you can watch it. Sorry. Yeah. Good question, XYZ. I don't know what Blue was talking about. Similar here. Are we a poor man Saudi spending too much money to locals and foreigners? Renal, if we want to compare us to the Saudis, we're a very, very poor man's Saudi. Very, very poor man's Saudi. We've got, I don't know, a few rupees in our pockets and we're throwing that out at the players. And that's not happening. So, right. Those are the realities of things at the moment in that context, right? So therefore, yeah, what are we going to do? How are we going to grow it? Big questions. Shubhashish Bose will be in starting 11, says XYZ. Yeah. Name me alternatives. There are not too many, right? People are saying this ISL was poorer than the previous edition. By my opinion, the competition last season was just between 2 teams this season. There was competition between 4 teams at least till the latter half. Where did you see 4 teams? To me, Mohun Bagan had been winning this for weeks and months. I know that that Mohun Bagan fans have been saying that, oh, you know what, you choke, block this, you will whatever do. No, there was never a race. We artificially kept the race alive. Let's put it this way, right? Very improvement. Saudi, yeah. Have you felt like stopping support of Indian football? No. Well, you don't stop it, right? Support is always there. You might be disgusted and may say, for a day or two, I don't bother about it, but the support never stops. That's something that I would say will always have to stay. So therefore for me, yeah. Your early 2 cents on the Bangladesh match. Rishabh, whatever happens, whatever people say, we're the favorites for the game. Period. Hamza Chaudhary in, Hamza Chaudhary out. That's to me, So therefore, we have to prove ourselves. Yeah. So that's it. Bangladesh camping in Saudi Arabia. What are they cooking? What are they cooking? They're having a camp with their local players. What's the thing? They're having a camp. Period. It's not free like Geo Cinema. Now they charge money for subscription to watch ISL. But generally, then, you know, then you have to pay for it, right? There, everything else, which supposedly is free, is illegal. One of these countries around us going to camps in Saudi. Afghan too did a camp, I think. Yeah, because they have, their leagues are not as big, as strong as ours, and therefore they think that's the best way. Still, according to many Mohammedan fans, they still can't show. I mean, let's go back to the league table, right? Mohun Bagan are on 49 points from 21 matches, right? 3 matches to go. Goa, 20 matches, 39 points, which means 10 points less. Goa can get a max of 51. One win, Mohun Bagan is sorted. And Goa is not going to win all the remaining 4 matches, right? And the last game is between these two. So therefore, this is Mohun Bagan's. We are favorites, yes, but that's what we like to think. But in reality, what will it remain in future? I can't talk about the future. I can only talk about this match in March. I don't know what the future holds. To me, in March, we are favorites, period. Now it's over, Shield decided. Look, exactly, that's what I've been saying this for 5-6 weeks. Toral is yet to score a goal in ISL. Yeah, Rachit, find it sad. Because if you look at the movements, yesterday also his goal was actually, if Shankly doesn't touch it, disappointing. Yesterday was disappointing. Subscription is okay. Not everything can not be free for lifetime. People who really wants to watch will pay without any hesitation. That's another Indian problem, right? People don't want to pay for anything. Krishna says, I was thinking that too, because in the last 2 friendlies we scored a couple of goals and found promising players like Irfan, but still looking back at the last year, it doesn't look that promising. Yeah, it's difficult. Yeah, and so therefore, for me, it was done and dusted. Hamza Rui is dead weight in Northeast United, only there because he's Moroccan, wasting a foreigner sport. Maybe he is, maybe he's not. He hasn't been. Maybe he's not been fit. That's why the coach hasn't been playing him. Could be many, many different reasons. Shield has been decided 3 weeks ago. Mohun Bagan BFC trophy. To me, Akash, it was late last year where I thought it was done. Watch Mohun Bagan win Shield and get destroyed in Asia. Could be happening again. Who knows? No, actually, Jamshedpur FC defeated FC Goa. That killed their chances. No, these are all theoretical chances, right? We're trying to keep a race alive, which is in itself difficult, right? So therefore, for me, it doesn't work. I mean, Goa now has to play the Blasters on Saturday. Mohun Bagan on Sunday host Odisha. I don't know. Who do you think is the best playmaker to have played in ISL till now? There are quite a few candidates. I loved Elano, Janine, great player. Porha, Fernandez at Atletico de Kolkata in those days. Diego Forlan needs to be added to that list. I don't know who Rex Stewart comes to my mind. Ahmed Jahu comes to mind. Edu Badia comes to mind. There are tons of them. So that to me is that's what I'm saying. There are a lot of names that we could throw into this mix, into this discussion. So is always, I find it very difficult. ISL Cup is where the thrill is at. Yeah, looks like it. Let's wait and see. We're heading towards it. So let's see what happens. How many clubs will get promotion from ACL 3 to ACL 2? There is no promotion per se. Only the champions move on. But now you think we overhyped Sahal. He was the poster boy not too long ago, but now he's nowhere near national team. Another Lingard story might find himself in I-League. XYZ, I wouldn't say he was overhyped. Sahal Abdul Samad has technical capabilities which very few Indian footballers have. The problem to me at the end of the day with Sahal has been always, and I go back to when Elko Shatori was at the Blasters, and Elko said it multiple times, I don't know how to get this boy to play in a tactical system. And that's killed the whole thing. Yeah. And therefore for me, of course, hyped, but also someone with capabilities, and at the end of the day, most probably not fulfilled the promise. Right? That's the problem. Any news about Hyderabad FC moving to Delhi and Odisha FC problems? Akash, Hyderabad FC moving to Delhi is something which is, I think, on the discussion board. But I think, again, as I said, we discussed generally what's the future of the league. And Odisha FC, yeah, there are issues. So therefore, yeah, both the teams, again, there's been rumors about Odisha FC potentially moving to Hyderabad moving to Delhi as well. Yeah, that's potentially on the cards. But I think the Telangana government is trying to whatever it can to keep them there. Theoretical question just for fun. If you were a professional footballer and offered chances to play both for Germany and India, what would you choose? Keshav, it depends on the situation. Normally, there are reasons to play for Germany. There are reasons to potentially play for India as well. You can't generalize, right? There's a lot of generalization. Yeah, that's. Mathematically speaking, FC Goa still have a chance if Mohun loses against Odisha and Mumbai City FC, which is a possibility. Goa doesn't have any strong opponent in upcoming matches. Yeah, but Zorawar, if Mohun Bagan just win against Odisha, it is done and dusted. Sahal I-League, yeah, could happen. No? Who would let go of a genuine chance to win a World Cup? XYZ, maybe me. Who knows? ICE has been here for over 10 years now, but the level of football still remains the same, degrading. What could be the reason, sir? No focus on grassroots and youth football. Be it ISL, be it before that, we have not done what is needed to evolve, to develop talent. That's where we've suffered, and therefore we are stuck where we're stuck at the moment, and it's not improved over the recent past, and that's the very, 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 very worrying sign, in my opinion. Owen Coyle should be sacked. Only big talks. Yeah, Akash. In the past, we would have said, yeah, and yeah, who knows? Maybe the last of him. XYZ's answers to Aram, I was always right, bro. Thinks Özil never liked dribbling. I would never like to play with a player like that. He's out. XYZ, he's got capabilities which very few players, Indian footballers have. But again, technicality is nice to have, dribbling skills is nice to have, but that understanding, awareness, tactical awareness is very, very important. Right, 90 minutes of this live on a Thursday evening. If you haven't, but you're liking the conversation, do leave a like behind at the bottom. Put thumbs up. 14 likes so far. Thank you very much. Share it with others as well. And if you're new to the channel, if you haven't subscribed so far, do subscribe. We're at 2,237. We're growing, and thanks a lot for the support. What's your opinion regarding Federico Gallego and Marcelino? Were they good playmakers in your opinion? Yeah. Marcelino was more of a striker than a playmaker to me. And Gallego was good. Mm, there you go. But not at that top level that we're talking earlier. I watched yesterday's game between Real Madrid and Manchester City. Pep magic is fading. I think it's not his magic is fading. I think the quality of the team is lacking. These days, Indian football declines significant things on social media is completely different from reality. That's a problem, right? Huge problem, and nobody wants to talk about it. Um, why is the camera angles are so bad? Generally, it depends sometimes on stadiums, infrastructure, how the stadium has been built. So yeah. I watched today's live of Ashish Negi saying even if F still go out of ISL, ISL will be there. How will FA still go out of ISL? That logic doesn't work to me. Because FSL is ISL, ISL is FSL. If FSL goes out, the ISL shuts down. The ISL doesn't go to the AIFF. AIFF can't organize the I League. How are they going to organize an ISL with the extra cost, the extra expenditure that Reliance puts in? Those are the questions. Ashish Negi says if listening Colossus solves decision-making problems, he will be unrivaled in Indian circuit. Do you agree? Nice thought, but he will never solve his decision-making problems. So therefore, it doesn't arise. Chelsea signed a new player. Say you got any update on it? No. Are you misrepresenting what Ashish Bhai Negi Bhai said? Akash, she said, "Don't worry, it will happen. Just amount will be very less." No. Again, even if Ashish says that, the MRA is at the moment there is no MRA happening, right? So therefore, don't worry. We should be very worried. Anybody who's not worried doesn't realize what the situation is at this moment. Any big talent to watch out from Germany other than the obvious ones or XYZ? There are tons of them. Paul Wanner is one there. Bayern Munich has a 16-year-old who's very, very exceptional. There are a couple of ones at Dortmund. Hoffenheim has Tom Bischoff, who's going to Bayern in the summer. Yeah, tons of talent coming through. Diego's first season was exceptional. He, along with Obecha, took Northeast United to playoffs. Yes, very, very true. Very, very true. Why do you think no big team can take Mourinho as coach? Is he outdated? Maybe it's the style, yes, of Mourinho and his teams. The second part is the character of Mourinho is not easy to handle. So these things, I think, make it up. Yeah, everyone's FSL, it owns it. Yeah, that's it. Theoretically, you can FSL transfer rights over to some other party. In theory, yeah. And I was saying, what would you do first if you were elected as president of AIFF? I would most probably want to find out how much money the AIFF has. I would actually do a financial audit, would be, I think, the first thing to find out. And then I would love to travel around India and understand what are people thinking and saying in the state association and the clubs, and then, try and build a roadmap. Can Mumbai City exist without Citigroup? Akash, they existed before them. They could theoretically also. What's in with different likes if ISS stops? Ali will become top league again? Most probably, but the question is, can Indian football, yeah, where does the money come from? Hi, Rishabh. Mir geht as good as we say in Germany. I'm doing fine. Mumbai City actually did exist without City Football Group. Guys, it did, and I created it. I am one of the people behind Mumbai City. Your first job must be taking voting rights away from non-functional state affairs. Akash, that's not an option. And this is, sorry, I'll be very brutal in this. You guys think it is so easy to do this and that. This is not an option, because I cannot take voting rights away, because that means you have to change the constitution. Do you think these people will agree to change the constitution? Maybe government will start funding AIFF again if FS reduces. No chance. So those things are not interlinked. Can you explain more details when one was wanted? Rishabh, it was in I met the people behind Mumbai City in May 2014, and we started work on it in June 2014, and officially, of course, it was founded in August 2014, and yeah, a lot of work went in the creation. I think a lot of people don't realize how difficult, not only for us, for all the franchisees in the ISL, it was in the first year to actually create the teams out of nothing. We didn't have anything. We didn't have any plans, any ideas of what we're doing, what we're trying to do and achieve. And yeah, we sometimes are living hour to hour, day to day, trying to build something. And it was a huge, huge challenge. It was, I've done a few football projects in my life around the world. If you ask me, it was the most challenging. On one side, a lot of fun, a lot of sleepless nights around the drafts, for example. And yeah, but then winning, losing. I'm always bad with losing. I take it with me. I can't sleep. I play it through, but yeah. What happened to the 15-year-old Mumbai City FC player who went to Blackpool, was selected? Zoravar, I have not heard anything about the boy. I know the blame cannot be put on cricket, but if cricket didn't exist, how different would the football scenario be in India in terms of funds and sponsorship? Theoretical question, I have no clue. The government probably for a year or two at best fund the league, hypothetically speaking. After that, we are on our own. The government will fund nothing. Why would, Rishabh, one second, I just have to get up and do something. Why would the government of India come forward and fund Indian football? Would be my question to you. Why would they do that? Because what's the value for the government of India that that it funds an Indian football league? What's the value for it? The government has cut down the funding of Indian football to a bare minimum. They're happy to say, listen, we don't want to give you money. Actually, those are the problem. That's the real problem of Indian football. And therefore, we need to be very, very clear about what we want for Indian football, what we can get for Indian football. Because at the moment, we are struggling with the bare basics. And look at the AIFF with the money they have and where they're struggling. Of course, yes, one has to also say costs of a lot of things have exploded in the last 2-3 years. But the point at the end of the day is that the AIFF is unable to manage it. And if FSDL pulls out and people think that the I-League will go on, I think most teams will go bust. And also people who are investing into the I-League teams, those people will also suddenly think, why should I invest in football? Why would people invest into an Interkashi? Why would people invest into Gokulam Kerala or a Srini Deccan? All these people will consider their investments, or even people in I-League 2, I-League 3, right? So therefore, if people don't realize that, if the ISL shuts down, it means that Indian football will most probably collapse. This is, sorry, I don't want to play the doomsday guy, but this is the reality of our situation at the moment. And we don't realize that how bad the situation actually factually is. That's the reality. If you want to believe it, believe me or not, that's where we stand. That's where we are. And therefore, that is my biggest fear for Indian football at the moment. That's the reality. So therefore, we need to take that seriously. And also, do you want government to allocate more funds to football? 100%. But the government of India needs to be serious. In 2014, I didn't like Mumbai City. I used to cheer for Pune in Mumbai versus Pune. The kit and bat was iconic. Okay. Now it needs to be alive till 2050 for next Asian Cup of India to host a World Cup. So if Indians surely in World Cup, hold on till 2050. Let's see. So yeah, thanks a lot. I'll try. And also the OG Delhi Dinos are the coolest and the best badge in football. The flying fighter jet, coolest liquid nitrogen. It was the laughing stock. Akash, you might find it cool, but a lot of people used to laugh about it, I remember. Since government is so interested to host Olympics, they need to do something for football. Otherwise, it will be humiliation Olympics. So, Ravar, there are so many sports. I've spoken about handball with certain people, where handball is one of the biggest Olympic sports, right? India hosting Olympics will be a humiliation left, right, and center. We are not ready to host Olympics from a sporting perspective. Infrastructure wise, yeah, we pull it off. But from a sporting perspective, India is not ready to host an Olympics in another 11 and a half years. Let's be honest about it. So football just falls into that bracket. If FSTL pulls out, Indian football will collapse and the club will feed on the remains. Most probably. In 2020, I used to read AIFF e-magazine and think we're going to qualify for World Cup in 2026. No one can rival the kind of disappointment I had after Medica Cup and then losing to Afghanistan. Aram, you are not even near regarding disappointment that people like myself have had over the years with Indian football. So therefore, if that is bad, we've had much worse instances over the years. So therefore, yeah, that's nice because you believe the propaganda. Sorry. Why every power hungry leader goes the same way? I don't know. It's a global phenomenon, sadly. Government of India is already building an Olympic sports complex in Gujarat. No, they're not. Who's telling you that? It's not even it's in the planning stages. It's not even finalized. People really think with the kind of team we shouldn't be even qualifying for Asian Cup. I know. If we want to talk about our football standards at the moment, most probably we should not be thinking about qualifying for the Asian Cup. But we need to be in the conversation. We need to be amongst the big boys in Asia. So from that perspective, I say we need to play the Asian Cup. And it might be bad for us. But at the end of the day, we need to be seen. We need to be there. That is our challenge. Mr. Modi wants to show his state to the world, bankrupting the whole nation like Greece. Yeah, let's see. Let's see what happens. It's a big, big problem. 1 hour and 44 minutes. If you haven't, like, share, and subscribe. And 15 likes so far. I think, guys, we can do better. Give a thumbs up. Give a thumbs up if you like it. 2012 37. And thanks a lot on that. Jen Jonan says, can't we try something else to attract more investors to Indian football, like signing big players from Europe, like Saudi Arabia? Generally, in Saudi Arabia is spending, I don't know, 100,000 times more than what we're spending. Big European players would come, right? But we have to spend 1,000 times more than what we're spending at the moment. Who's going to put in the money? There is no, sovereign wealth fund in India like there is in Saudi Arabia, right? So therefore, very difficult. It's in planning stages, very, very ambitious. I saw the brochure. There is a football stadium, one football specific, other with a track around it. It said it's nice, but it's still not concrete. I know the international architecture bureaus have been approached. Yeah, that's the thing. Well, Mansukh Mandavia wants India to be within top 40 ranked nations by 2050. Yeah, so Ravar, he wants us to be top 50 in the next 10 years. They fooled us really bad. Personally, I wasn't hyped at all in 2020 with the games we played against those opponents as to how much fooled AIFF into contract extension. Rushabh, I was in Bangalore. I saw the matches against Lebanon and against Kuwait. We were lucky to get into the penalty shootouts, right? Therefore, I was never hyped. I love the atmosphere in the sense of, it was tense and all that stuff. Now winning, great, but I don't get carried away. Will Saudi Arabia succeed or will it crumble like China? I think it will succeed in a different way because they have more money than the Chinese, and Chinese, of course, were hit by economic problems of the corporate world and, of course, by COVID. Hi, Mayank. I am fine. I think AIFF has enough money, but it doesn't have any accountability. The government of India won't give a dime to such a federation. Hockey federation is doing fine with a limited budget. AIFF doesn't have enough money. I think if the AIFF wants to run its program and wants to really do what it wants to do, it needs more money. It needs to at least double its budget from its current status. And football is a much bigger sport. Hockey is India winning the World Cup, Indian winning the Olympic gold, everyone can shout and all, but hockey is a very, very small sport. I love the sport. I played the sport, but it's a very small sport. Football is the only global game, so there's no comparison. The government recently considered a sporting budget in Gujarat and UP. Since then people are saying they're building Olympics infrastructure. It's just speculation. Yeah, exactly. There is no Olympic infrastructure being built. He wants to present us as the Deng Xiaoping of India, but we don't even have sidewalks in our capital. Yeah. At present, Indian football is in survival stages and the plug could be pulled at any time. And XYZ, sadly, as you say that, right? That plug could be pulled and nobody realizes it. Yep, near 1,000 crore is being allocated to Gujarat as sports budget. Yeah. Then how do we improve? What are the way forward for Indian football? What are we missing, sir? Janjoyland, it's leadership at the top. There need to be different people running the AIFF. There need to be different people, most probably running also FSDL, Indian football. Only then we can succeed. As hard as it sounds, but that's my understanding. If you check this knowledge allocation to the states, you can see clear bias against the states that don't vote for them and the current sports minister never played any sport in his life. Akash, yeah, you have a point there. But the problem with a minister not being an expert in his field is a general problem around the world. Nowhere in the corporate world would you say, you know what, you are an expert in finance, can you do IT? The IT guy does then marketing and the marketing guy does then finance. That is how governments, politicians are elected into posts, right? So therefore, that's a problem. A couple of months ago, I compared the team Lebanon field against us, and in the Asian Cup, I was hyped. At all, I was aware of the reality, yet still felt embarrassed how much hype was running around. Rishabh, that's our biggest problem at the moment. That there is potential, right? And that potential, we've not grown that potential in the recent past, and that's where we start. We're stuck at the moment in a loop, and the loop is rather going down than it's going up and down, and I don't know. Only hope at the moment is Modi ji to save Indian football. I don't think he's interested. Honestly, if he was interested, even you're speaking to the Spanish Prime Minister about El Clásico and doesn't know that day there were problems in Indian football. So what are we talking about? 100 crore Indian rupee isn't even close what is required to stop this government propaganda. Yeah, but yeah. I'm pretty sure other sports ministers at least visit stadium, watch different sports. Our minister don't even visit. Yeah. I believe in him too. Also, Glazers would save United one day. Yeah. Glazers and United. And I thought the new co-owner was the savior of United and has made matters worse. Do not care about football at all. The state has zero interest in football. Hard fact, and that's the problem. That's the problem. At the end of the day, Modi probably more interested about Vinny Junior winning a Champions League. He talked about Mbappe in his recent France. Yeah, so rather, someone's putting those talking points into him, but rather, creating opportunities maybe for Indian football in those countries might have been nice, but not happening. I'll slowly come to an end today on this Thursday evening. As I said early on, I'll do a live watch along tomorrow. It's going to be an interesting encounter. Northeast United versus Bangalore FC. I hope, so therefore watch along tomorrow. Join me about 7:15, 7:20 for that game. And looking forward to that. 5 years ago, I've heard that Adani Group will launch their own club. Yeah, there's still that rumor goes around. And Judge John, our Indian football future doesn't look so good if things continue. Generally, it looks very tough. It's very, very tough. Let's see. Good night, Zoravar. Good night as well, Blue. Tomorrow's important match prediction. Northeast United win, I think, in Shillong, or a draw. Being United fan supporting Indian football, I've become numb. I don't feel it for them as things stand now. Yeah, and that is the worst thing that can happen. I will watch the watch along. Great, Aram. Not on you, everyone else. Join in. Let's have continue our discussion on Indian football. You're thinking not confidential cup of finishing third will be the final nail, and many fans will leave. Yeah, let's see. Good night, Akash. Guten Nacht, Rushabh. Good night, everybody. As I say, like, share, and subscribe. Spread arunfoot. Get more people to join us in our conversations. As I said, tomorrow, live watch along of Northeast United versus Bangalore FC from Shillong. 7:15, 7:30, 7:20 should be the time I start, and I'll catch you tomorrow. Good night, everyone.